All right, guys, welcome today. This is our first ever Beyond the Gear Photographers Uniting event. There's only one sponsor of this event, and it is me. This is sponsored by Jason Lanier Workshops. That's what paid for this place. I have been a pro for 10 years. That's how long I've been doing this. And I've loved photography ever since I was a little kid. Went to Carlsbad Caverns with my dad, and I was amazed at how it was so dark, but he could bring out so much light from it. And that grew into a passion for wanting to shoot. So I worked a paper route from the time I was 12 to 15, saving money, and I saved up hundreds of dollars to buy my first Nikon. And I believe it was the N5005 was my first film Nikon. And that was right before high school. And then once I got into high school, started shooting with it. I quickly learned that it was a great way to meet ladies because high school girls love having their picture taken. So I thought, well, this is super cool. I get to shoot with this. And did pictures, fun pictures. My girlfriend would get, she wanted to be a model, and she and I would go out and shoot, and then she would get her friends, and I could shoot her friends, and I just had a great time. Well, then, life sets in, right? And I grew up in a household where my parents were educators. And so, not in a mean way, but we always had the talk of get a real job, go and, do something along the traditional route of things. And that got me into the hotel industry. I translated for somebody and started my hotel career. I did that career for over a decade. I remember doing it, and then I was sitting at Christmas dinner with my wife and her family, and I was volunteered to shoot somebody's wedding. Now, guys, at the time, I had no website. I had nothing, okay? I just had my pictures up on Picasa. Do you guys remember Picasa? Yeah? My wife and I went and met with them. I showed them pictures. I was a typical hotel guy. I had a PowerPoint. The guy was this high-priced lawyer, the father of the bride, and said, you take okay pictures and stuff, but do you shoot people? And he says, I kind of don't understand why you're here. And I said, well, I don't really understand why I'm here either. I mean, I had a 6-figure job. They said, okay, we'll let you know. And my wife and I walked out of the house, and then the bride, Brittany, runs out of the house. She gives me a hug as we're walking down. Now, keep in mind, you may think this is like some backyard wedding, low budget, because that's what it would be. Like, I've never shot a wedding. This place was a 7,000 square foot mansion in the hills. No joke. Brittany said, we want you to do it. I said, why? And she said, I just like you. I get a good feeling about you. So I was still stunned, but she said, how much is it going to cost? And I didn't know what to charge, guys. I really didn't. So I just thought, well, geez, I make good money. I really did, guys. I think the last year I left hotels, I made over $200,000. I said, I don't know, $2,500. Never shot a single wedding. $2,500. I said, okay. So I shot the wedding. Now, I had 2 months to do to learn everything I could. So I went out and bought the Nikon D2XS. Remember that body, guys? And then we shot the wedding. And I shot the wedding with my father-in-law, my brother-in-law. And honestly, my editing really sucked in those shots. But the shots were pretty good. They're decent. They're compositionally, I think compositionally, I've always had a pretty good grasp on things. And for me personally, if you ask me about the talent quotient related to photography, I always believe it's related to somebody's ability to compose an image. I play the piano. I messed around on it for 10 seconds when we first got here. I think the difference with great photographers versus picture takers is the difference between a piano player and a composer. I really believe that's the difference. You can teach someone to play the piano. I don't care what you do, you cannot teach someone to compose a piece of music. You can't. It's just something you cannot teach. And I believe that's the difference in a lot of ways between picture takers and photographers. I shot that wedding. We didn't know if we wanted to do any other weddings because, let's face it, I had a great job. There was no reason to leave. But I got the bug, I was hooked. And so I started booking weddings. And so, no joke, I would work Monday through Friday at my job, and I wanted to be a destination wedding photographer. I didn't want to be a local wedding photographer. No offense to anyone who is, it's just not something I wanted to do. So, guys, if there's one thing you're going to learn tonight, it's you have to make who you want to be. If there's another thing you're going to learn tonight, it's if you're not being successful, stop blaming everyone else. I'm a man who focuses on self-awareness and focuses on doing things yourself. If the industry doesn't want to put me up on a platform, I make my own. See my thing? I'll always find a way, baby. I'll always find a way. I shot 25 more weddings that year. And what I did was I went and there was a website at the time called wedplan.net. I think it's they've changed it now, but what I would do is I would call up brides on there and they'd say, oh, my budget's $1,500. Well, I wasn't hurting for cash to live, so I could afford to fly to places and just shoot a wedding at cost, or even under. I'd lose money. So I went and shot weddings, and so I'd go to New York and shoot a wedding. I'd charge $1,500, and between the airfare and hotels and rental car and food and everything else, I would break even at best. But what I was doing is I was building my portfolio, right? And I did that, and I shot over the course of my career, I've shot 250, maybe 300 weddings. I've shot them all over the world. My first destination wedding in Australia, guess how much money I made, guys? Guess how much I charged? How much? Take a guess. 5,000? No. 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 How much? 500. That's right, $500. First wedding in Australia, I did it for $500. Why would I do that?
Go see Australia. Yeah.
Now, I could go see Australia because I only made $500, so if I'm doing it as a vacation, I could just go out there and do it on my own. But what did I want to project to the world? That's right. Right? That's right, baby. I'm worldly, right? So I proceeded to do that with my career. I proceeded to make myself who I wanted to be. Do you know how many times I hear from people, oh, there's so many photographers, it's impossible. There's something wrong with that mindset, guys. There's something wrong with that mindset. If you think about it, we live in a day and age where it's never been easier to achieve your dreams. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the barrier to entry to be a professional photographer it was very costly, it's very hard, right? Plus there was a much bigger learning curve, let's be honest. You had to know metering, you had to know lighting. Now, yes, you have to know it now, don't get me wrong. But let's face it, it's easier to learn photography. So if you're talented, here's the thing, if you're talented, there's nothing stopping you now. Nothing. That's what you need to take away from this. It used to be, just think of it like the American Idol phenomenon. You know, now if you get popular on YouTube, if you have a great voice, I'm sorry, if you have a great voice, you're going to go places. If you're talented, you can put your content out there and anyone can see it. You can go places. There's no excuse for you guys, me, anybody, to not be successful. That's the way I view it. That's totally the glass half full. I don't view it as, well, there's so many. I view, wow, I can achieve my dreams much easier than I ever could before. Guys, stop worrying about how many people are in the room or how many people are in your area. There's so many photographers in my area. Where you live? Oh, I live in a small town. How far away from, like if you live in Indiana, how far away do you live from Indianapolis? 45 minutes. Well, you're an Indianapolis wedding photographer. No, I'm not. I'm from Gary, Indiana. No. You're from Indianapolis. No, I'm from Gary. Okay, you're not getting my point. You're from Indianapolis. Everybody thinks I'm from LA. You know how far I live from here? 105 miles. Everybody thinks I'm from LA. Come on, y'all. You guys see my point? So fast forward, I shoot Nikon. Here's my man Brian. What's up, baby? Good. See, I remember people who come to my workshops. I do. So y'all should come, by the way. If you want me to keep doing these events, don't be cheap bastards. Okay? But I shot Nikon for a while. I used weddings to fund my passion. My passion is landscape and wildlife photography. That's like my passion. When I wanted to do whole National Geographic type thing. So I used my money from weddings to fund that trip. Again, no excuses. Oh, I can't get into National Geographic. Go be your own National Geographic. Seriously, what's stopping you? You can publish your images. There's nothing stopping you. I went to South Africa. I spent 2.5 weeks there. No joke. I rented a Nissan Versa. I went on a safari by myself. I'm this tiny little Nissan Versa inside a Kruger National Park where there's these huge safari buses. And I'm cruising and I'm getting outside of the car, which you're not supposed to do. But I just couldn't get the right shot of a leopard, and I just couldn't get close enough to the hippos. This is all true stories. And I went and made my own safari. I wasn't going to be denied, right? See, what I do is I fixate on something, and then I said that nothing's going to stop me. I'll figure it out. You throw a wrench in my way, detour. I'll figure it out. My wife paid me the best compliment I've ever heard when she said, Jason, if you were the guy on that show Lost, you'd be the one person to figure out a way to get off that island. It's determination and perseverance, right? So I shoot Nikon for 7 years, and then I switch to Sony, right? It's all well been documented, not paid, not offered, nothing to switch. I make a video because all my followers are wondering, why did you switch? What's the deal? Switch, make a video about it. The video takes off, goes crazy, 10 reasons video. I get tons of hate over it. Tons of support, tons of hate. The good support was Sony called me up and said, hey, we'd like you to work with us. I said, fantastic, let's do it. Bad side is everyone turns it into a battle now, right? And so recently, the reason let me backtrack. What ended up happening was, over the years, I have found myself in a position where I'm one of the most well-known Sony shooters out there. And as such, especially since I made 10 Reasons, everyone thinks I'm out there to bash other brands. Not everybody, a small amount of people. Sometimes it seems like everybody, but you also learn it's not. Otherwise, there wouldn't be nearly as many people here. You guys are awesome, by the way. And I realized, I'm trying to keep up with everybody else on YouTube, because here's the thing, the thing about YouTube is, if you want to get hits, you talk about gear. That's the honest truth. Look at almost every channel out there, and I'm not bashing them. Everybody has their place. Almost every channel, if you want views, you talk about a camera and you talk about stuff you don't know. I mean, now we have people making, and we have for a while, we have people making videos about rumors of gear. Why? It gets hits. New Sony A7R3 or A7 III or whatever it may be, it'll get 10,000 views in a day just because people want to see. It always cracks me up too, because what you're doing is you're watching someone read something to you that you can watch on, so you can go to Sony Alpha Rumors or Nikon Rumors and read yourself, but that's okay. All the more power to those people. What I realized was my channel needed to be about more, and my message needed to be about more. And so, yes, I'm sponsored by Sony, and I'm sponsored by Rhodolite, some amazing companies. And I'm only sponsored by companies that I wholeheartedly believe in. That's the truth. I get probably 2 to 3 sponsorship offers a week. And I don't take them because, honestly, in my opinion, you take too many sponsorships and stuff, it ties down who you are and what you can do. So you have to be very selective with what you take. But I wanted an opportunity to gather together with fellow photographers, and I wanted to start to try and create some movement within the industry. However small it is, I think we can have a big impact. But I wanted to create some movement in the industry to try and figure out how we can find that passion for photography again, and we can start talking about the things that really matter. Who in this room is a full-time professional photographer? Raise your hand. 3. Who's part-time? 25. Okay. Who wants to be full-time? Okay. Okay. Guys, I'll never forget having a conversation with a friend of mine, and it was the honest truth. He and I both agreed the only way to really become a full-time professional is if you have to be a full-time professional. It's the honest truth. In other words, you got to put your money where your mouth is. You may think you work hard now. If you own your own business and run your own business, you will work harder than anything to keep it alive. You are the only person feeding that business. When I stop working, my business literally stops. When I take a vacation, my business literally stops. You are the lifeblood of that business. So I think what I wanted to communicate more than anything to you guys tonight was how you can find yourself, how you can get to where you want to be. And more than anything, I wanted to share some thoughts with you guys, and I want to hear from you guys as well, guys. Anytime that I do presentations and stuff, this isn't a one-way communication. I want you guys to talk back to me. You can talk back, you can be nasty, I don't care, I'll have fun with you, trust me. Okay, so that leads me to my recent meeting with Ken Wheeler, the angry photographer. Okay, that was awesome. Yes, in my initial video for this, I invited Ken out to this. And, I didn't think with our history he would come, but the offer was genuine. And when I saw that there was an opportunity for me to visit him, I went out and did that to try and put my good foot forward. And I thank Ken for doing that, by the way. So let me ask you guys, what do you think our industry, what's hard for you guys? Because I'm in a position now where I can communicate on my YouTube channel, I can talk to my sponsors, I have contacts. And if there's one thing, and I mean this, if there's one thing I hope to be known for when my career is over, if there's one thing that I hope to be known for, it's that I'm the people's photographer. I'm the photographer who's always with you guys. I am one of you guys. I'm one of you that was sitting there a couple years ago, and now I'm standing here. That's the truth, y'all. If you have talent, you can be here. Talent and work ethic. Talent and work ethic. If you don't have the work ethic, forget it. How many famous people have we seen, athletes or whatever, who just don't have the work ethic and they don't make it? Oh, what failed potential. Got to work for it. I'd also dare say that it's better to be hardworking than talented. Now, if you're talented and hardworking, then you are a force to be reckoned with. So what's frustrating for you guys out there? Let me hear it. You guys still here? Hello? Talking to you. Hey guys, if you want to learn online with me, go to patreon.com/JasonLanierPhotography, and you will be able to continue this craziness online from anywhere on planet Earth with me. If you want to join me live, go to JasonLanier.com/workshops, and you'll get to see me in my full glory live and in person, guys. I think there's a smudge on there. Yeah, I got it. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.